Ladies and gentlemen, good evening. It is Down with the Browns. We got Zach, we got Blake McCoy, we got Dave, KFC, Manny Maxwell. We're all here. We're ready to get it going. Welcome. It's another evening. Thank you so much for joining. So it's a good time. It's a good time despite the Cleveland Browns doing what the Cleveland Browns do. I do apologize, boys. Zach, I see your name. Can you let that what's that name say under your?
Nothing. I'm just the biggest fan of Jedrick Wills.
CEO of the Jed Wills Hater Club is under Zach's name right now, and and also Dave rocking a beanie. Is it a little chilly where you at? I never seen you rock a beanie.
My soul is cold. Is what it is, dude. Me and the wife went down to the game this weekend. It's her birthday today, and unfortunately, we had to sit there and witness that once again down there. And my soul is cold right now. This is terrible Tuesday for me, and I'm wearing a beanie.
And you hate to see it. KFC, I know you're gonna open things up and get us real started with a brand new segment for all of the listeners and the viewers out there. It is called Air Raiding with KFC.
Welcome to the first air raiding session with KFC and the boys. Regardless, we're still here despite a bad win. Recapping the Week 3 matchup of the Browns versus the Giants. Giants walks in to the bank, on the bank, and scream, "Hands up! This is a robbery," and get a dub. Stefanski abandoned the run game quicker than the Jags abandoned Urban Meyer. The offensive line had more people moving around than a five-finger death punch mosh pit. Malik the Freak Neighbors made a statement against MJ early in the first half. Schwartz decided to put a warrant out for his arrest and had the warden put him on lockdown. Then, Amari Cooper finally found his hands and grabbed two tutties. Deshaun Watson decided to put the $100 bills from his contract in his ears and black out all of the haters and put up a season-high 196 yards, 2 touchdown passes. After multiple costly mistakes, the Browns lose as Danny Dimes cashes in his change. That's all she wrote, boys.
Well done.
I lost my spot like 3 or 4 times.
I actually really do. You know what my favorite line is? Danny Dimes cashes in his change. I love that. I absolutely love that. Honestly, really, KFC hit the nail on the head there. I think, man, the Cleveland Browns unfortunately lose to the New York Giants, 21-15. I would love to say 17, give us some more points, but wow. I don't even know what to say. I want to say, PSA, I did put a video out on Twitter of me laughing pregame and saying that we get the chance to play Daniel Jones. I really thought that this was going to be an L. I apologize to the New York Giants fan base. We already have, oh man, I don't even know who this is, but we got a comment from Mid's Plug Watson. So I have no idea who that is, but it's a frog that's high. I don't even know who that is. I'm sorry. There's another comment that I'm not going to show on here, especially not say. But so I don't really know what's going on. We got to dive into some of the stuff, but Blake, I'll start with you. What's some of the first comment that you're thinking about when you're thinking about this game, if you have to relive it again? I mean, if this is the second week already, we're having a bad time. But go ahead.
I don't want to, man. I'm tired. I'm tired of splitting out 4 or 5 receivers at once. I'm tired of just 5-man protections, letting teams just blitz the hell out of us. Deshaun has no time to throw. He can't even make a simple RPO read. Like, it's just so frustrating to me. And now our O-line's banged up, and now we're just going to have this janky O-line again. You never know. It might work better this time. Now everybody's got to focus more on their blocking assignments because they're not in their normal position. It was just bad overall. I feel like I watched 4 different games. Each quarter was a totally different game. It was literally insane. Like, I don't know how you go to almost going up 14-0, a penalty, and then a synchronized dance for about a solid 30 seconds to just losing this game to the Giants. It was brutal, dude. I hated it.
Yeah, I brutal is one of the many adjectives to describe how this game went. Zach, I know you're right by the fire. You finished up your cigar. You've had some time to ponder and contemplate what
Chill
happened.
out.
You chill out. Break it down for me. How do you feel in a few sentences, and then we'll get into the nitty gritty here. A few sentences of how do you feel?
Well, Sunday I was, I think like everybody else was pretty pissed off. Blake said it the best, but I think the biggest issue that I'm having right now is when a whole offensive line isn't clicking, and when clearly we abandon the run. I don't know if it's because of the offensive line, not sure what it is. And when we have a quarterback who's not 100% clicking on all cylinders, but has his moments, it's almost like you pick your reasoning and that's the reason everything's going wrong. And I don't think it's one thing that's gone horribly wrong, but it does start with the offensive line. If we cannot, protect the quarterback and give the quarterback some sort of confidence, you can't expect the guy to be making throws on the dot every single time. And then on top of that, how are we supposed to be giving looks to, Dante Foreman and James and Jerome Ford when we're not letting them have carries? It's a complete mess, and I think a big part of it is because Ken Dorsey has a little bit too much say in this offense.
And Matt, shout out to Matt, my boy from Twitter. Matt comments and just says lots of blame to go around. That is true. I think not enough blame seems to be, at first glance, going around. It seems to be around a certain individual. But we'll get into that for sure. Instead of Stefanski or Watson, it needs to go around to every part of this football team, because everybody, there's not one part of the football team that's doing perfect. Obviously, that defense looks pretty good. But Dave, I'm going to go to you next. What are some of your outlooks? Once again, right before we dive into some of the specifics.
Just disgusted. Absolutely disgusted. I blame Deshaun Watson, but I also blame Kevin Stefanski, and I also blame the organization. I don't know what's going on. I don't know where the engine is misfiring there, but there's a misfire. And let me tell you, if you see Sam Darnold, what he's doing right now, Andy Dalton, 95-year-old Andy Dalton comes in for Carolina and lights it up. Come on, man. We don't need elite quarterback play. We don't need 450 passing yards and 5 touchdowns. We need somebody who can convert key third downs in the game, sustain drives, keep the other offense off the field, and give our damn defense 10 minutes to breathe. For God's sake.
Yeah,
Talk to him, Dave.
Just breathe. They are gassed. The defense is freaking tired, dude. They're tired of being out there, and I'm tired of freaking watching it.
I can't agree more. I think Dave, I hear the frustration in your voice, and I know a lot of fans are feeling the exact same way. It seems like it's the same movie. When we lose the exact same kind of
it's like
embarrassing
a
way.
movie.
Exactly. You know what I mean? It's a Hallmark movie. And when we win, we kind of, you feel good, but it's like, it's just enough to draw you back in and say, hey, maybe if we can just fix this. That's the Browns, right? They draw you back in with another win. That's why it doesn't surprise me if we go into Oakland this week this weekend on Sunday, and we beat the Raiders. Not because I think we're better, but actually because that's what the Browns do. They'll bring you back in after a horrible performance, and then the Commanders. We saw how good the Commanders are, right? We play the Commanders the week after. Jaden Daniels is going to go tear us up, and that defense, just like you said, Dave, is going to be out there all the time because we're going to have 3 and out after 3 and out, like game 1 of the season. So we're gonna kind of move into this. I want to kind of go over some of the headlines. Matt, I wish we could bring you on. I don't know how we can add somebody, but we can get down into the specifics. The first thing I want to ask you guys, Daniel Jones, where on earth was this a Daniel Jones game? Is this because of Daniel Jones tearing us up and Malik Neighbors finding some really good catches? I mean, he had a catch on the sideline over Martin Emerson. That was a really good catch. Is this a Daniel Jones that the New York Giants are accustomed to seeing, or was this the defense, or a little bit of both? Like KFC, what's your synopsis on this? Because this is Daniel Jones really tore us up.
I think they really went into this game just kind of underestimating the Giants. I mean, 0-2, they lost a game to the Commanders, and they didn't even score a touchdown. So I think they really went into this game kind of like, oh, it's the Giants. We're just going to wax them just off pure talent that we have. Mm-hmm. And we got out-schemed, outplayed by Brian Daboll and Daniel Jones. And I think Daniel Jones, there is a reason he got paid. And he's one of them quarterbacks that's going to look good for about 5-6 games on the year. And then for the other 8 and 9 games, he's going to look garbage. Like, I mean, that's just how Daniel Jones is. Like, I mean, he's going to have his games, and then some games he's going to suck. So, yeah.
Yeah, Zach, can you give us your interpretation of what's going on? Daniel Jones, did he really tear us up like that? Is that something that we're going to see more often from Daniel Jones, or did our defense just lay an egg?
Well, I don't think the defense laid an egg. I think that's when you're on the field as much as they were, it's tough. Plus, they're getting great field position here and there, and Malik Neighbors doesn't make one great catch. He made 2 or 3 catches that really could have resulted in a 3 and out, drive ender, or at least a field goal, that type of stuff. So I definitely think that it's a little bit of everything, kind of like Christian was saying. But I will say this, is that I've never seen him that efficient, because he's usually, throwing balls over people, throwing them short, throwing them out there, and that's just his game. But Daniel Jones in a Browns offense like last year would be a pretty damn good quarterback. I mean, if you can put out a performance like that pretty much every game, or pretty close to that, I don't see why you wouldn't be able to succeed in a Browns offense and with a Browns team. So I don't know. But also, let's call a spade a spade. The Giants blocked the defense. Just that's what they did. I mean, our pass rush was there, but when you go into half with 3 sacks on your own team, and the other team you haven't gotten one, it's they came in and they whooped our ass. That's what they did, start to finish.
So I got you guys a question here, real quick. Okay, I got 2 QB stats. Okay, I'm gonna read the first one off. First one, 600 yards, 4 touchdowns, 2 interceptions. QB passer rating of 80.6, completion percentage 59.6. Okay.
Can you say that one again? The QBA.
QBA is 59.6 completion pass percentage, 600 yards, 4 touchdown passes, 2 picks, and an 80.6 passer rating. QB2, 57.8 completion percentage, 551 passing yards, 3 touchdowns, 2 picks, and a 71.4 QBR.
3 touchdowns, 2 picks?
Yep.
Okay.
One's Daniel Jones and one's Deshaun Watson.
Okay, but which one are you taking, QBA or QBB?
I mean, they're both kind of pretty similar, honestly.
I'll take QBB because they have the completion percentage.
It's lower on B.
It's lower on B. I'll take A with a higher completion percentage.
Okay.
I'll take A. Or you know what? I'll take A. Yeah, it's fine.
Okay. What about you, DM? Blake?
Will you say the stuff again? I'm sorry.
Yeah. So QBA, 59.6 completion, 600 yards, 4 touchdowns, 2 picks, 80.6 QBR. QBB, 57.8 completion, 551, 3 touchdowns, 2 picks, 71.4.
Is it my turn?
Yeah.
Yeah.
You can go.
I mean, it's almost like it seems like a trick question, so I want to say B, but I'll take A.
Do you guys know which one's
Oh, there
which?
it is.
I think Deshaun might be
I mean,
A.
Is this a game
Deshaun's
stat?
Deshaun's A. I'm almost positive.
Nope. Daniel
John-
Jones
No,
is
this-
A.
Oh, then okay.
Deshaun's only. Yeah, we haven't thrown 4 TD passes. There's no way.
Yep. Watson's B.
Okay.
So that's where they
Yeah,
are.
Matt said B is Watson, I believe. Matt, you
Yeah.
would be correct.
I forgot the first game or our first game we didn't, or all we had was Judy.
It's
So, or no, wait, did we throw a TD pass?
Yep. It was the Judy.
It was Judy.
Week 1.
Oh yeah, and then the game after it was
Nobody.
nobody. It was
it was Deshaun's run.
yeah. And
So-
then our own Ford Tutty as well. Yeah.
So we're gonna move on to the second question or the third question technically that I have. So at the end of the game, there was 3 chances, right, to potentially go down the field.
Barely
It was
got one.
21-15 at the time. There were 3 opportunities to go back down the field and score and potentially take the lead. So the first opportunity, remember, the first opportunity was that fumble snap handoff from that was the transition from Deshaun Watson to Jerome Ford. The second time was a 4 and out. Technically, they went for it on 4th down and didn't get it. And then normally in the NFL, you don't get a third chance. And the third chance was that 4 and out Cedric Tillman drop, hit him right in the chest. I mean, you got to feel for him in that position. But what exactly in that kind of system of events, I'm trying to figure out. Barely in the NFL, forget about 2 chances. Barely you get 1 chance, right? I mean, you barely ask Josh Allen how many chances he gets, right, to go down, march down the field and win the football game. You barely get 1 chances, and it seems like the Cleveland Browns defense gave that offense 3 chances. So is it Deshaun Watson holding the ball too long? Is it Kevin Stefanski's play calling? Is it the transition? Is it the offensive line fumbling? Is it not the wide receivers not creating separation? Can somebody please help me out with what was going on at the end of the game? It's insane to have this happen. 3 opportunities. 3. Dave, can you what do you think happened at the end of the game in that 4th quarter?
It was like being in the ring with Mike Tyson for 15 straight rounds, dude. It was just one gut punch after another. We were in the game clearly until the very, very end. Multiple opportunities to drive the ball down the field and even win the game. And just continued to suck our souls out, drive after drive after drive. Something is not wrong and just not working, whether it's Stefanski or Deshaun Watson. The linemen don't even look like they want to block for the guy. And that's just so ridiculous that I even hear myself say that. But it almost feels like they just don't want to block for him. I can't get it, man. I don't understand it. The one saving grace we have is I don't know who feels worse, us at 1-2 or Bengals fans at 0-3.
Fair enough.
Very fair, very fair. Blake, I know you played football before. Can you how would you feel if you're that defense, if you're on defense and you gave your offense 3 opportunities to go down the field and score. You just need a touchdown. 3 opportunities with decent field position. They're not like they're inside their own 10 at this point. Can you walk me through the mindset that you're having on defense, and what do you think went wrong?
Dude, it's exhausting. It's exhausting. Like, I can only imagine how pissed off Myles Garrett or JOK or any of them guys are that this offense can't get like 12 yards in a possession. Like, it's insane. I think there was 2 or 3 drives in this game where we had negative yards for that possession. I think it was like 2 or 3. One was like negative 12. And the problem on offense, I mean, it's both. I've said it in the group chat. It's both Kevin and Watson. Like, Kevin needs to stop with all of this stuff he doesn't know how to use. He doesn't run that stuff. He needs to stick to his 12 personnel, completely confuse defenses on if it's a run or pass. Like, it's pretty easy to know, like, hey, a pass is coming when you only have 5 blockers and you have everybody spread out and our run game is not working because it's too simple. It's literally too simple. And, oh, man, I'm so mad right now. I got more to say, but I'm trying to think off the top of my head. And at the end of the game, it was more Watson than anyone else because the RPO, that 4th and 1 where he got tackled, you can see he is staring down. In an RPO, you obviously have a run-pass option. It's a run to Jerome Ford. You can see him staring at this defensive end, and then there's the guy. It's the linebacker or the safety that creeped up. You can tell it's man-to-man as soon as he creeps up. You can see him creep up. So Deshaun Watson should be able to see the whole entire answer right in front of him. RPOs are so easy to read. If this DN crashes down, you throw the ball, which that's what that DN did. He crashed down. So he picked it up, and then he was just staring at Coop. I think Coop was the wide receiver on the outside. Coop was running a slant, and Adkins was running an out, which is like the easiest 4th and 1 conversion play you could do. It's the most predictable, but sometimes it works because it's too predictable. And Jordan Akins was butt naked open, and you can just see Watson not even look at him. He is looking straight at Coop before Coop even breaks on his route, and the guy he's supposed to read is waiting for that slant. And he shouldn't even hesitate. He should just throw it right to the tight end. And it's the easiest play in football, and it's just so frustrating that we cannot get a run game going. We cannot get simple passes. That's literally a 2-yard out route, guys. Like, I could throw that, and I never played quarterback in my life. Like, it's not that hard. That's the easiest conversion play in football, literally, and we can't do it.
And you know I want to move to what Matt's talking about here in the comments. He had a really good comment. He said, "Yes, I agree. We need to get away from 0 personnel and get back to 12 personnel. Your offensive line can't block. You need to go get max protection. Look at the Commanders game last night on Monday Night Football. 7 offensive linemen to protect Jaden Daniels. So I think that it's really interesting because it leads us to a segue into our other question I'm going to have for KFC and for Zach. Bill Callahan did go over to Tennessee to be the offensive line coach for his son over there in Tennessee for the first year that his son got the job as head coach down there. So I love the family ties, and I would never say that you should choose football over your family. But it seems like we're missing. It seems like we're missing him, and we're going to dive into Deshaun Watson. Obviously, we did a little bit. We're going to dive into him a little bit more, but we don't want to escape that. But the offensive line, it's a problem. This is Swiss cheese. This is a revolving door of an offensive line. There's 5 revolving doors and that are letting people in. And we thought that Jed was going to help. And I don't know what happened. What's going on with Wyatt Teller? What's going on with DeJuan Jones? We don't know. Zach, can you take us in to your mind and your opinion about this? Did Bill Callahan mean that much to the offensive line for the Cleveland Browns?
I mean, I would be silly to say that he didn't mean something. I mean, obviously, when you lose some sort of, personnel on the coaching side of things will change and things will be a little bit of a learning curve. But people that think that this is the reason, that's like it's just an easy way to just say, well, I don't know really what's going on with the offensive line. I'm just going to blame it because Bill Callahan left. It's like, listen, he's a great offensive line coach, great in the run game, and he can make guys that aren't, first round pick talents and just freaks when it comes to that really, really good. But I don't think that is the right way to approach it. I think the biggest issue we have on the offensive line, and it goes back to kind of what Blake was saying, is in the RPO game, like when you have plays like that, it's 100% on Deshaun Watson, but you can point to other places where you have to call a spade, right? Deshaun makes some great throws that are either dropped or he misses them, or, offensive line doesn't give him enough time, those types of things. But we also have to look at it, kind of through the lens of a quarterback too. When your quarterback can't trust the line, it causes anticipation for him, right? So the anticipation is either going to come through one of two things. One, the offensive line is not giving you pass pro, or two, you're not trusting your eyes. And Deshaun, it seems like he's doing both of them. So he's his own worst enemy when it comes to, hey, I'm missing easy throws. And he's also not wrong for feeling like, God, I'm getting slaughtered out here. But I think the fix is pretty much telling. Washington did it last night. They ran 7 offensive linemen out there, 6 offensive linemen. They did everything and anything they possibly could to protect their quarterback. I think Kevin Stefanski has done way too much to say, oh, we're going to become this, Deshaun Watson is our football team. Dude, that's not your identity. It's just not. He's never been a guy that it's your quarterback.
It's never been the Browns' identity
that's
for their
just
whole
never
eternity.
been our identity either, right? Like, we are a team that needs to be very, very balanced. You got to run the football. And if we can't run this football, we're not going to open up that pass game, because every single time these guys are going to line up 5 wide every time, and they're going to be like, oh, we're going to send the house on a 5-man protection.
Yeah.
And I hate to say it too, is it's not just the offensive linemen that are underperforming, like Wyatt Teller, who has been on a downward streak the past, I would say, year and a half. But I also think that our running backs have no idea how to block. I mean, Jerome Ford, I'm not saying you have to block a guy like Brian Burns or Kayvon Thibodeau or any of the linebackers there, but you need to chip them and stop them from impeding. When you're getting run over and run around, you're not doing your job. And if that's the last line of defense for someone like Deshaun, he's gonna be. It's kind of like, what came first, the chicken or the egg, right? And some aspects, it's the offensive line. And some aspects, it's Deshaun Watson. But I don't think this is ever going to be figured out until Kevin Stefanski figures out what type of offense he wants to run. Because some of this is trying to give Ken Dorsey a little bit too much leeway. Some of this is giving Deshaun Watson too much.
Where is this Ken Dorsey? Why did we bring him in? Offensive coordinator Ken Dorsey coming over from Buffalo? Is it Buffalo? What the heck is he doing here?
It's to make an offense more comfortable for Deshaun Watson.
They want to run a Josh Allen style thing.
Is Deshaun Watson comfortable in that?
I don't
Josh Allen kind of offense?
What he did at Texas.
I don't think so. When he was with the Texans, they would run spread sometimes, but it wasn't always.
They had nobody.
Yeah, they had, but they at least in Houston they would run four wide receivers and still have an extra tight end, or they would run these packages to where it would give Deshaun Watson to where if he was facing a crazy amount of pressure, and out. Their
offense, their offensive line could not have been as better than ours. Like, could potentially be.
This year, I would say that the Browns' offensive line this year is probably worse. Is probably the worst that Deshaun's ever had in his career.
No,
no.
And I'll say it. Maybe it's hyperbolic.
KFC, go ahead.
No,
Before I
Maybe
scream,
it's
no,
no,
get out of here, no.
That O-line,
No,
with
don't
the
do
Texans
that.
was so bad, dude. There's a reason they won 4 games that year that we paid Deshaun Watson all that money for.
Hey, at least they had a left tackle in Tunzel, though.
Yeah, they
Yeah,
had a
that
left
was
tackle.
With the smoke.
We don't
Hey,
even have
that's
a
more
left
than we
tackle.
got.
Well, we got a left guard, Joel Batonio. But here's the thing, guys. I think a little bit we're overreacting, and it's gonna take a few weeks. I think that's why, like in our group chat, I've been saying I'm not judging it really fully till like week 5 to week 8, somewhere in there, because this team, since Stefanski's been here, we've had one offensive coordinator, we've had one offensive line coach. We're not used to that continuation of keeping the same offensive staff together. And we finally had it there for a good 4 years. And now we're switching over into a new OC, new wide receiver coach, new running back coach, new, like pretty much a whole new offensive staff. And we kept most of the offense. So it's a whole new change for everybody. And now we're like most of our offensive line's hurt. We're without our starting left tackle again. Our right tackle's out. DeJuan Jones is on one knee right now. Wyatt Taylor's out now. Joel Batonio's getting older, but he's still solid. And Ethan Posick just sucks. But everybody's still just like learning this new block scheme, new offense. And it's going to take a few weeks. Like, you're just not going to go into that and just hum the tater and go Super Bowl, Super Browns. It's what we all expected. That's what we were all hoping for, but it's not going to happen. It's going to take a few weeks for us to get it back. Plus, we're without our best tight end right now as well. Like, David Njoku is huge in the blocking game, and we can really tell it. So I think that's a lot of it, and I think I would say give it till week 8. Once we have, I'd say Chubb back, he'll give us a few yards here and there in the run game, but we just
looking at this division, right? Looking at the AFC, let's take a macro view at this, and Dave and Blake, I want to go to you on this question really quick before we move on to looking forward. But the Pittsburgh Steelers, for whatever reason, right? I can't. And all jokes aside, I think Steelers fans would be very, very. If you give them some truth serum, I think that they would be surprised that they're 3-0. Some of them, they might say, well, we have a great defense. After watching them, they have a really, really, really good defense. And I've said this over and over again. Their defense helps them win games, and Chris Boswell, all he has to kick 6 field goals, and then you win the game, because that's how good their defense is. But this question that I want to ask you, Dave, and I'll start with you, Dave. Is it optimistic? Is it optimistic when you look at the division with the Steelers being 3-0? The Browns right now are at 1-2, tied with the Ravens at 1-2. And the Bengals seeming to have this struggle of starting 0-3, which they have not done yet. So with Joe under the Joe Burrow regime, do you feel optimistic by playing the schedule game, by playing the division game, or do you kind of like, are you pessimistic because of the way the Browns are playing right now?
Oh yeah, I'm pessimistic for sure. I think best case scenario is a wild card playoff berth this year. I think the worst thing that could have happened was Justin Fields starting from game 1, and by week 3, here we are. He solidified his place as the starter on that team. Russell Wilson is a non-factor. I was really hoping Russ would come in there, cause all kinds of distractions. There'd be they'd start 1-2, 1-3 with Wilson, then transition to Fields and have to make up ground. Unfortunately, that did not happen. Steelers are off and running, dude. I'm telling you right now, the Steelers would be lucky to lose more than 3 games this year. That defense is playing as good as any defense in the league can play. And Highsmith isn't even healthy. I mean, it's ridiculous what they got. Nick Herbig, who, Manny, you were a huge fan of coming out of the draft, and for good reason, has been absolutely dominant. So Pittsburgh is gone. Dude, they are off and running. If you're a Steelers fan watching this, I wish there was something bad I could say to you because I really don't feel good about you guys. But the fact is that you're off and running and everybody else is chasing for second or third place.
100%. I think that a lot of people, even Stephen A. Smith, very famous kind of sports reporter on ESPN First Take, I was watching him, and he was like, they asked him the question, "Are you confident with the Pittsburgh Steelers being 3-0?" And he's like, "They remind me a lot of the 2020 Pittsburgh Steelers. I mean, they started off 10 or 11-0."
He's a Steelers fan, by the way.
Yeah, Stephen A. Smith is a Steelers fan for all you guys don't know that.
But he's called it like he sees it. When they're bad, he calls it out and says they're bad.
That's what I mean.
Absolutely. And shout out to Matt with a great point. Herbig was one of the guys I was hoping would stay out of the division. But the Pittsburgh Steelers love getting those brothers together because I think his brother Nate is an offensive lineman for the Pittsburgh Steelers. But Blake, are you optimistic and are you playing the schedule game right now? Is it a pair of the two? It could be both. You could be happy about the way the Ravens and the Bengals look. Or do you you're like, I don't care. The Browns look terrible. They're whatever.
It's not even the division, boys. It's the whole NFL. The best team in the NFL is the Minnesota Vikings. They are the best team in the league.
Who's their quarterback, Blake?
Sam Darnold.
Sam Darnold. And is he playing at an MVP level right now?
Yes, he is.
So how in the hell could that happen? Sorry.
He's got an incredible offensive line, but go ahead.
Literally the two best teams are Sam Darnold and the Minnesota Vikings and Josh Allen with a worse roster Bills somehow. This season is crazy. The passing touchdowns, the passing yards are at an all-time low. It's a different ball game, boys. Like, there's not going to be this great team this year. There is no great team. Like, the Browns are still in it. They just have to figure out their identity. Every team's still in it. I don't care about the 0-3 stat. The Bengals can literally go on a 3-game win streak right now and be 500. Like, it does not matter. This league, this is why it's the best. This is why this is the best league in the world, is because all these teams are so gosh darn good. They could look so bad, but this league is so competitive and everything else. Like, you are always in it no matter what. And I'm definitely optimistic, but the Browns literally got to figure this out, because if they don't, it's going to be pretty bad here soon. But they have to. I think this Raiders game is a must win. It is a must win.
Can I call a spade real quick?
Yeah. Do it.
Let's listen.
I love that, Matt.
The Steelers, don't get me wrong. The Steelers look very good and they're very promising. Who have they played?
They played nobody.
The Falcons. The Falcons do look good. The Falcons do look good.
They played a game. They played a game one Falcons team that was just like our 2019 Browns. That was hyped up so crazy, and it was so confusing. And then who they play? They played the Broncos, who just came out and beat Baker Mayfield, who, by the way, is on the lose to shitty opponent on the Baker cycle. And then they played a Herbert Chargers team. Herbert shouldn't even have played that game.
With absolutely no wide receiver help on that team.
No wide receiver help. And look at the Steelers' back half of the schedule. They got the whole AFC North. They have the Chiefs. They have all these crazy juggernaut teams from previous seasons that they got to play in the back half. Like, it won't surprise me if the Steelers still go 10-7 and make a wild card, because that's still the Steelers thing to do. Like, they're playing amazing defense with offense that's just slightly better than ours, and ours is literally piss poor, and they're just winning games and we aren't.
Well, and you're 100% right. That's what I'm trying to like. Yeah, in some ways, it's like we are overreacting. It's week 3, and then for the Bengals as well. The Bengals are 0-3. They're putting up points. They're scoring. They're able
their
to move
offense
the
is looking good.
Yeah,
it's just their defense. Their defense just poofed.
Yeah, their defense. Well, I mean, when you lose as many players as they have, yeah, it makes sense. But like the Ravens, it's the same thing. It's like they almost won week 1. They lost week 2 by.
The Ravens should be 3-0.
The Ravens.
Yeah,
could be 3-0
they could be easily 3-0.
We played the Dallas Cowboys week 1. I didn't think that was going to be the most insanely close game. I thought it was either going to be a blowout either way, or it was going to come down to like the fourth quarter where someone pulls away. But looking back at that, I'm like, wow, Dallas defensively looked really good, and then we played, a Jacksonville team who, for all extensive purposes, are kind of in the doghouse as well. And then the Giants came in and they whooped our ass. Like, we have a Vegas team in Vegas that this isn't even like a can beat. We should beat them. And that's with the offense not even firing on all cylinders. Like, we should be able to go in there and take a win, even if our offense isn't that great, because defensively we should be able to just mop stuff up.
Yeah,
but
go ahead.
That's this year is just weird. I mean, who would have thought that Minnesota with an incredibly good offensive line, a hurt J.J. McCarthy, would throw Sam Darnold in there and have him basically run, again, another Kubiak-style offense that works for a lot of these quarterbacks. I would not be shocked if we throw Jameis Winston into the Browns say against the Raiders or against the Cowboys, and we look a little bit better. Because, when you have those guys that have been through it all, I mean, when you have a guy who's thrown the most interceptions in the league ever, in a single season, shall I say, but, like, you kind of just sit there and think to yourself, like, right now, maybe it's just too quick to say, like, oh, these teams are going to be this good or that good. I mean, we don't know. We really don't. This year is a weird year.
What I also wanted to talk about too, just really quickly, and I know this is down with the Browns, right? This isn't like down with any random other team, but man, oh man, like I really want to take a quick step. Are you guys surprised by the Bengals starting?
No, not at all.
Listen.
Suck. They suck in September.
They do, but I mean, Blake. They let go of Jesse Bates over there in Atlanta. Atlanta paid him.
It's because they're broke.
They let DJ Reader go, right? DJ Reader, I think, is in Tennessee.
Listen,
they tried.
Their owner is a piece of crap.
This is what the Bengals do, man.
This has nothing to do with the actual people that are the players on this team.
No, yeah.
Or actually, I think I'll take it back. It's a twofold. One, they talk a lot.
Where is that coming from? Cam Taylor Britt.
They need to stop talking trash. Every time they talk trash,
sounds like somebody I know.
Every time.
Listen. I talk trash.
Listen, Jamar Chase talked all year last year.
Got to point the other way, KFC. I'm on.
But
for me, it's.
Man.
But
who are you pointing at?
But you would be losing Joe Mixon, who was a guy who I think
for me
is over there.
He's right.
Yeah, for me, I'm to your.
Zach's gonna get.
We got to watch this back and see where I'm at,
bro. For me, here I will send the screen that I'm looking at.
Send the screen. We're trying to figure out if you're listening on Spotify. We're trying to figure out where I am on the line.
You lose Joe Mixon.
Yeah, sorry, Zach.
KFC.
You don't.
Joe Mixon, Jesse Bates, all kinds of dudes.
Tyler Boyd,
Jesse Bates.
Bates.
They lose Tyler Boyd, who I think was a pretty damn good leader on that team. Look at the way that this organization is. This reminds me of how the Browns operate. Like letting guys like Jamar Chase and T. Higgins hold out, and cause problems, and run, and Cam Taylor run his mouth the whole damn time, and nobody has a handle on the locker room. This is what the Browns were. Was loud during the offseason, like Colin Cowherd used to say, loud during the offseason, loud during the season. The players or the teams that are always really, really solid are the ones that are quiet through and through. They keep everything in-house, and it's all about one vision. And for the most part, the past 2 years, Bengals have not been
the meme that they got is like, the guy holding the flag and it says "beat the Chiefs" a couple times.
Yeah.
That is literally the Bengals to a T, bro. All these Bengals fans came out of a hobbit hole when they got to their luckiest Super Bowl of all time, like Cincinnati has one of the smallest fan bases of all time, and they just go on this lucky ass run where they kick like 2-3 game-winning field goals.
Money
And
Mac.
they all come out. They're like, "Oh my God, Joe Shiesty!"
Listen. If the Reds were worth 2 squirts of piss, I'm telling you, they wouldn't have had anybody at that stadium yesterday.
No.
They'd have been all at Great American Ballpark.
No, they would have been. So, boys, we're gonna end the show on a very hopefully high note, depending on your score predictions. KFC.
Before we give these score predictions, I just want to give a little thought. I'm pretty sure. I'm about 95% sure. Close to me, sources are telling me. The Browns have built their stadium way back when Paul Brown was the dude. They built that old rugged looking stadium. They built it on an Indian burial ground because there's no way there's anything. Somebody's put some hex on that stadium. Something that should be another reason to get this team out of freaking downtown Cleveland and get them to Brook Park.
I agree.
Right there, I think they've built on a sewer line, Indian burial ground. Something. There's something going on there, and I don't like it. I'm tired of losing. Put them in Brook Park, baby. Okay.
With that being said, which by the way, it does feel like that. Listen, so we're gonna try to wrap the show up with some score predictions. We're gonna play our music out like we're at church. We're just gonna have to pick the person play the piano, play us out. But listen, Cleveland Browns are going to Las Vegas to take on the 1-2 Las Vegas Raiders. ESPN has this matchup. It is 51%. Cleveland Browns, and so we're going to see how that works out. 48.6% the Las Vegas Raiders. Max Crosby and them boys are going to be trying to. He's questionable at this moment, but you know how that goes. I think Max Crosby can't wait to make some noise versus this. It can go on either way. I have no idea.
On the line, boys.
Zach, what do you think is going to even happen in this game? Give us a quick score prediction.
Can I just say that it's going to be like -15 to -15? Can we both score on it like ourselves? Because at this point, like, I don't ever want to.
Gardner Minshew is going to look like prime Aaron Rodgers.
No.
I'm
going to say that the Browns go in and they take the win 21-14.
21-14?
Yeah, and it comes down to the fourth quarter. It's going to go in tied 14-14 and 21-14 Browns.
All righty, sounds good to me. We're locking it in. KFC, what you got for me? What is your score prediction for the Las Vegas Raiders?
I'm just going to put this over my eyes because I think there's going to be multiple factors in this. I think they're going to go out there a few days early. And I think them boys are going to sneak out and go gambling and play some slots.
They're going to bet on the horses.
Yeah, they're going to bet on the horses and the ponies and all the baseball games. And I think the Raiders win 14-10.
14-10? KFC 14-10 final.
Man.
Dave, what do you got for me? What do you think this score prediction game is going to be versus the Raiders?
I mean, there's no difference. We still can't run the ball. We still have shaky offensive line play, and Deshaun Watson's still our quarterback. So, give me the Raiders 17-10 over the Browns.
We're dropping to 1 and 3.
I'm done. I'm out on them, dude. I'm out on all of them.
Dave, you might be the problem. Stop going to these home games.
We already said.
Hey, wait, Dave.
I sent the email. My tickets are done. I told him I will not be renewing the invoice.
Hey, Dave, I got an idea. So, all I'm saying is, your boy right here, they're 10-1-1.
10-1-1.
When I'm there.
Oh wow. Well, they're not 10-1-1 when I'm there. I'll tell you that right now.
Yeah.
They're 1-0 with Maney.
In 76.
They're 1-0. Yeah, they're 1. Wait, are they 1-0 with me? Yeah, they're 1-0 with. They're 1-1 with me because I went to
Preseason don't
preseason
count.
game, which is over.
Preseason don't count.
Preseason
I went to too many games.
Well, it was a tie, not 1-1. I'm 1-0-1 because it was a tie. But I'm going to be there in Philly week October 13th. So we'll see how that goes. But Blake, what do you got? Hopefully, you got a better score prediction than Dave's here because
Yeah. Dude, this game's gonna be crazy. There's gonna be so much stupid crap going on. I feel like both teams are just gonna pull out the trick plays or anything they can scratch just to get points on the board. But this is gonna come into overtime. Browns win 16-13.
I actually like that. I like a Browns 16.
Wrong,
Was
but
16-13? Like, Dave said wrong, but
I'm out on him. I'm done.
So I have a game like I'm going to follow the trend. I think the Cleveland Browns are going to gain our attention once again. There's going to be a lot of promise in this game, but unfortunately, I think that Gardner Minshew is going to have a magical good game, and I don't know if I'm basing that off of the fact that Daniel Jones had a magical good game. I don't know, but we're playing away, so who knows if our defense is going to finally show up for an away game. They kind of did with Jacksonville, so we'll see how that goes. But I do have the Raiders.
It's going to be Browns heavy there. I'm just saying.
It's going to be Browns heavy. I heard a lot of Browns fans are showing up to Vegas.
This is the first game the Browns have ever played in Vegas.
Yeah. Well, when the draft was there, I think a lot of Browns fans showed up for the draft down there. So hopefully we'll see a good Browns turnout. If the Browns are there, if there's a lot of Browns fans, a lot of dog pound representation, we might have a good game. But I have the Raiders winning this game 27-24. Deshaun Watson looks really good, throws for 3 TDs. We're going to get a field goal. Dustin Hopkins is going to redeem himself from missing that field goal last game. Right. So we'll see how that goes. But
and Max Crosby sets the sack record in the game.
Max Crosby sets the single game sack record.
Don't leave that out.
Davis,
no, because we're running 9 offensive linemen.
Done.
I don't know how many times
Nick Harris Tutty.
How many more times Deshaun Watson can get hit and stay healthy because
he looks like a goldfish out of water.
He
got hit.
He's like Dennis Rodman.
All right. Thank you, ladies and gentlemen, so much for watching. This was Down with the Browns. Thank you so much for listening. Follow us everywhere where you get your social media. You can follow us on Twitter. Follow us on Instagram, Facebook, YouTube, at Down with the Browns. And as always,
go Raiders!
Go Browns!
What? I'm out! What? I'm out, I tell you!
Browns.
End it!
Birds up!